How do you find happiness? Finding happiness, in fact, is the wrong way of thinking about it, because you can't exactly find happiness. Happiness is something that you have to really generate within yourself, right? Very often you're going through life and there are a lot of ups and downs. So sometimes you just feel like, oh my gosh, I don't see a way out of this, or I'm really struggling with my children or my spouse or whatever it is. And so how do you find that happiness? So if you keep thinking, I gotta find happiness, I need to find happiness, you're gonna be looking in the wrong places, because there's no finding. It's really about tapping into connecting to your own center. And that center is where your happiness is. Because happiness is not something that you're going to be able to experience by getting something. You can, let's say, have $1 million. You're going to be really happy after you have that money. But in about 2 weeks, you're going to get used to that money and you're no longer going to feel that happiness, because that excitement, like a roller coaster, after you ride it, that excitement wears off. And then where's the happiness? Where did it go? You might still have the money, but then where's the happiness? So you have to really constantly nurture this sense of well-being within yourself. So let's talk about how you're going to nurture this happiness, because it's like growing a plant. You have to nurture it. You have to water it. You have to give it sunshine, right? Like a pet. You want to feed your pet and walk the dog and all this stuff. Treat yourself like a very good pet owner. And it might sound funny, but if you look at people, sometimes they treat their pets better than they treat themselves. Or they treat their pets better than they treat their kids. Or they treat their pets better than they treat like their spouse, right? Or their parents. And so, first of all, you have to treat yourself so lovingly and so kindly that you have an abundance of love to give to other people. Because if you don't treat yourself well, you're never really going to have an abundance, because you're just going to be running on debt, basically. Using a monetary term, you're going to have debt. And what is that going to look like? That's you being really fatigued, drained, and not feeling like you want to do anything, not wanting to connect to your loved ones. So you first have to, every single day, set an intention to connect to your own center. Where is my balance? Where is my center where I can feel like I'm at ease, I'm whole, this is who I am, I know who I am. And if you feel a little bit lost, that's okay. You practice it again and again. And you have to give yourself time, right? You're not going to be able to do that while you're watching TV. You're not going to be able to do that while you're chit-chatting with somebody. Like, you have to be quiet. Just sit there. If you don't feel like meditating, you don't even have to meditate. Just sit there for 5 minutes and let your mind wander. And then you ask yourself, I would really like to get to a place where I just feel at ease, I feel neutral, and this is where my center is. And that's it. You practice it, and then you practice it, and you practice it. So again, don't try to find happiness. You really need to cultivate that, and it's something that you have to work on pretty much every day. It's like exercising. Let's say exercise for a month, and then for the next 6 months you don't exercise, then you're not going to have really good health, right? You're not going to have a fit body because you did something for a month and then you quit, basically. And so happiness is the same thing. It's really a practice, right? People talk about meditation practice, people talk about workout practice. There's lots of kind of practice. Happiness is not something you find. Happiness is just something you practice. And if you have that frame of reference when it comes to happiness, actually is a whole lot easier to be happy because you don't have to chase it anywhere. Does that make sense? So let me know what you think, comment below, and I look forward to reading your comments.